Part 6, Monsters. Huh. Oh, it's a cool monster. Oh, hey. I was just going through the Basic Fantasy 4th Edition core rulebook. They got some pretty cool monsters. But what if I made my own? It's time to roll for Truckle. Subscribe. Welcome back to Roll for Truckle. This is Frank. And in a video where I talked about Wonders Wild and Deep, this is a pocket RPG, and I also talked about Basic Fantasy, but I'm talking about this one specifically because in that video, and feel free to check it out, it's 50 minutes long, and if that's cool with you, then have at it. But in that video, I drew a monster on an index card. Yeah, it's actually something I was thinking about because something that I read in the core rule books and the referees in this one. Okay. Welcome back to Roll for Truckle. This is Frank. And in an earlier video where I talked about Wonders Wild and Deep, a pocket-sized RPG game, it was the core rulebook and also the referee's grimoire. And it's a pocket-sized game that you can print out and play. It's very light rules. It's fun. In that video, I came up with a little scenario where in that video, I talked about a little scenario that I came up with where you could encounter a seemingly innocent animal, and I used the example of a bunny, and I actually had drawn the monster out. What if it wasn't a bunny, but a lion bunny? Well, I made that monster. And here's the finished sketch. And there is on an index card. Now I took that sketch and I redid it on my computer. So let's take a look at that and we'll talk more about that monster. We got the sketch here. This is the lion rabbit. The sketch I had done on an index card. And it's not a bad sketch for a quick sketch, not bad. And you know what, the name was alright, but I'm going to change it. So I took the scientific name for rabbit and the scientific name for lion. I put them together and I came up with Auric Leo. So that's how I landed on that name. Thought I'd give it some form of science. And you see, I went over the rough sketch in blue line, and that's going to be what I'm going to use as my reference, what I'm going to go over. And I kind of like the tail just being kind of on the side, so I changed that, and I'm just adding more details to the Auric Leo here. I decided for this one I wanted it to look more like a lion, but you can tell that there's rabbit in it. So I do give it a pretty decent size mane. Add just a little bit of details, a little bit of shading. I wanted on a pasture, and I did come up with some basic lore for it. And there is gonna be a version where it'll be found in colder climates, but you're gonna see that in a little bit. So I just have the Auric Leo just there on a pasture. He's just looking out. Could be in the woods, could be in open lands, open fields. Give it some nice sharp claws, because it is going to be digging. It is part rabbit, and so it's going to use its claws to dig a burrow. that's why I gave him the claws just a little bit bigger. And there I was playing around with the fonts for the name there, but I added some nice tone, some nice texture, so it looks like almost a traditional looking lion. But they're part rabbits. They can be any color, any darker color. I just thought, for this one, I'm gonna give it that lion feel. It is a lion-sized monster, and because it's a lion-sized monster, it uses a lion stat, a lion stat block. Now here's where I was talking about. I took the same drawing, and I'm actually gonna change it, so you'll see that a little bit later. But I wanted the Arctic version, so this is the Snow Oricleo. But I am gonna change it up a bit. I'm just doing the backgrounds, the pine trees, the snow. I made some slight changes to the Snow Oricleo, but I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. And that's a sneak peek of my next monster. Here it is, the finished stats. So that was the Oricleo and the Snow Oricleo. I decided to make two monsters. Now, I used the stat block found in Basic Fantasy 4th edition. And it's the stat block for a lion. What I did to change it was I changed the type of hit dice, or the type of dice that you use for damage. The change that I made was I changed the type of dice that you would use for damage. And that's the only change that I make. I left everything in that stat block the same. I also came up with my own description and the art for the Oricleo and the Snow Oricleo. Now, you did see in that video, I did at the end change up the Snow Oricleo just because I wanted different art. The art that I was using was the same art. I just made one white and made little changes here and there. I said, I want to do it at a different perspective. I want to I want that one to have its own art. And so this was the original sketch that it started from, and I printed it out. So I made their stat blocks and their descriptions. And I did print them out individually, but I print them out again on the same sheet of paper. There is a PDF file, and those are going to be. There is a PDF file in the description below, so you can print out the Oricleo and the Snow Oricleo and use them in your game. They will be printed out individually unless you want to do it front and back. but yeah, let me read you the description. Here's the stat block. Here's a bigger version, bigger size. All right, so this is what I came up with. Created by a wizard that transformed his pet rabbits into cuddly but fearsome guard animals. The Oricleo are large cat-like beasts. They possess large lion-esque bodies, a ferocious appetite, large rabbit ears, and a fluffy tuft on their tail, at the end of their tail. They live in large underground burrows that can be found deep in the woods, but go above ground to hunt and play. They possess dark vision and prefer to be left alone. Oricleos don't usually hunt humans unless hungry or provoked. That'll be pretty hungry. Now for the Snow Oricleo, it's basically the same, just a couple little additions. But now I'll just read that. The Snow Oricleo is at home in colder areas, although they have been known to survive in warmer climates. Related to the Oricleo, they share similar traits such as large lioness bodies a ferocious appetite, but have larger rabbit ears and fluffier tufts of fur at the end of their tail. They live in large underground burrows, but go above ground to hunt and play. They possess dark vision and prefer to be left alone. Snow orcleos don't usually hunt humans unless hungry or provoked. Now, some scenarios that you can use. Feel free to use them in your game. For the, I, I guess it will be for either, but for the orcleo or the snow orcleo, uh, if you want to kill them, you can attack and take a chance. Like I said, I did raise the damage dice, so it is a 1d10 for the claws, and you can have 2 claw attacks. And for the bite, because you can have 1 bite attack, you use 1d12. Let's look up the original line stat block, because I don't have it memorized, but we can see what the damage dice is for that. All right, and we have right here. All right, so for the lion stat block, according to Basic Fantasy, use 1d6 for the claw and 1d10 for the bite. So I just changed the claw with the bite, and gave the bite just a little bit higher because I want them to be fluffy, cute, adorable, but deadly if you mess with them. Something that you can do with both is if you don't want to attack them, if you just want to kind of appease them and just go on your way, or also, maybe after a few tries or a few turns, just try to befriend one, or depending how many, and maybe train one, tame one, and it can be a companion. So what you can do is feed it some rations, or if you're gonna be in the area, depending on where it is, if you're gonna be there for a little while, you can just feed it one turn, go hunting. Next day, feed it some more, some a fresh kill, some nice fish, and just roll the dice and see if if you succeed or not. I think that would be cool. You can do the same with the snow orcleo. Now, the reason I gave the snow orcleo just larger ears and a fluffier tail, because I wanted a nice fluffy white bunny. In this case, a lion bunny. I thought it would be cool, and I want to show a distinction. So the the snow orcleos have just a little bit larger ears. The regular orcleos can be any color. In the video, I do have it lion color, but it can be a different color, brown, darker brown, black, a mixture of white and black. You can have an orcleo that's white. That just could have been somewhere down the line. One of the uh, ancestors was a snow orcleo. So I did kind of like write it in where you can have a snow orcleo in the woods. Yeah, because I thought that would be cool. That's just something that you can do with them. Now, I did make it compatible with Basic Fantasy, and there is the PDF available on I think it's in the monster submissions on the Basic Fantasy forum, because people have been submitting monsters and I wanted to submit my own. Uh, I was hoping to submit for the one of the field guides, which is the monster manuals, but that submission was closed, and I'm not sure when that's going to be updated. But you can get the original field guide on Amazon, and actually, a lot of those monsters made it into the updated fourth edition. So I think that might be it for now. But people are still submitting monsters. I thought, well, it's cool. I want to do that too. And you know what? Maybe you want to use it for your game, your campaign. So if you do that, let me know, and let me know what you come up with, and what the outcome is. I thought that would be fun. And check out, I did add a little Snow Orcleo cub, a little offspring. I didn't do it here, but they're maybe in the burrow. Now I'm gonna do another version, just because I thought, yeah, that's a pretty cool idea, just lionizing or not lionizing, uh, rabbitizing large cats. So I'm gonna do the Auric Panthero or Panthera. I think it's Panthero. I'll check my notes. And anytime I make a new monster, I'll update somewhere. Well, that's the Oricleo, the Snow Oricleo. Made two monsters for Basic Fantasy, but you can use them in other systems. You check it out. I mean, I got the idea when I was just reading some scenarios, some rules here from the Wonders Wild and Deep, and you don't even have to use a stat block. You can just use the description. You can do the same with Pocket Fantasy, because I don't think they use stat blocks. So let me know. Let me know where you would run it. So this has been Frank Salazar with Roll for Truckle, and we'll see you next time. Let's roll for Truckle. Subscribe.